we have been feeling is that the evenings and the nights are getting extremely hot. It's not just something that you feel during
Yeah.
lunchtime where you just don't go outside during that time. Now, even when you go to bed, and health experts say that is also a problem because the body can't really cool down and kind of get better from the heat that was felt during the day.
Yeah.
The nighttime used to be a good time to get that balance and get hydrated. And now that is much harder to do.
It is 7 minutes past 6. Firefighters in Portugal are continuing to battle wildfires across the country. Temperatures are set to reach the mid-40s throughout much of the Iberian Peninsula this week in the third heat wave to hit the region this summer. Here to talk about it now is the journalist Catia Bruno in Lisbon. Morning to you.
Good morning.
Some people do say that Portugal does have wildfires. It does have very hot summers. How unusual does this summer feel to you?
Well, we have been feeling quite high temperatures that are, even though we are used to hot summers, they have been unexpected. Just to give you an example, the other day, I was leaving my apartment in the morning. It was 9 a.m. and it was already 27 degrees. So you can imagine how hot it gets by lunchtime.
Yeah. Um, and the fires, how much of a concern are there? How much is there infrastructure in place to tackle them? We saw the problems in the Greek islands of fires getting out of control. There are concerns that the fires that are happening in Portugal could get to the Algarve, where there's lots of tourist areas.
Well, the fire seems indeed to be moving. The big one that is happening down south, it seems to be moving into Algarve. Last evening, we had our minister for what we call the civil protection services that are the ones who manage firefighting, saying that the big goal right now is to stop it from getting to the mountain range of Monchique, which is already in the Algarve region, and that they were expecting that during the night, with the temperatures coming down, they would be able to contain it. The latest information that we can see on the official channels is that there are still more than 1,000 firefighters fighting that fire right now. So we are hoping to get more news this morning to see if there was at least an opportunity to contain that during the night.
Meanwhile, is it true that I suppose that touristy part of Portugal remains open for business? Lots of people listening to this might be planning a holiday or set to go on holiday this week, next week, to that part of Portugal. Does it feel that that's still a sensible thing to be able to do?
I would say so because usually most places in the Algarve where tourists can stay are closer to the beach, near the beach, and so not as close to the parts of Algarve that unfortunately can burn down with big forest areas which are a bit more up north. Although I would say if the big fire that is happening does reach that region, tourists should expect a lot of smoke coming up their way. And even if the fires don't reach that region, of course the temperatures will be quite high, and it is always unexpected. Somewhat what might happen. I think we are all living um, unexpected times with the amount of heat
Yeah.
that has been affecting the Mediterranean region.
And how do you feel about that, Katia, living there? That it looks likely that your future living in Portugal is going to be very, very hot summers, potentially forever. That feels like an irreversible thing. Do you think about that? Do you worry about that? That you're going to be having 40-degree, 45-degree summers potentially forever now. Does that strike? Do you worry about that? Do you think about that?
I do. I think we have been noticing it as each summer goes by that it's getting warmer and warmer, and it is kind of getting to a place where um, I think there it is inescapable. I think that everyone is starting to realize that the global heat, the global warming crisis is real. There is no turnaround around it because people feel it in their day to day. In and I think the new generations are quite worried. I think that is a topic that for younger people, particularly in their early 20s, is something that worries them deeply. And it is not, I think it is starting to reach to older generations that global warming is not just something that is a distant scenario that people talk about, but they don't really see it. They are now catching those real effects in their day-to-day lives because summers are incredibly getting hotter and hotter, and the day-to-day basis is now something that is truly felt.
And do you have aircon? Do you live in a place with air conditioning? Is that something you can just turn on?
No, actually, I have my fan right now working.
Oh God! So when it gets to 45, if you have no air conditioning, that's awful. That's very, very hard for you to live through.
Yes, and I think that's a problem for most people. Our housing system is not built to deal with such extreme heat. Most people don't have air conditioning in their apartments because even though summers were hot, during the nights temperatures would cool off. And what we have been feeling is that the evenings and the nights are getting extremely hot. It's not just something that you feel during lunchtime where you just don't go outside during that time. Now, even when you go to bed, and health experts say that is also a problem because the body can't really cool down and kind of get better from the heat that was felt during the day. The nighttime used to be a good time to get that balance and get hydrated. And now that is much harder to do.
Are you tempted to come on holiday to Britain? We've not had much of a summer here, rarely. We had a very hot summer last year, but this year it's not been very much of one. Are you tempted to come and have a holiday in Aberdeen, somewhere in Scotland that gets to sort of 17 degrees, no more than that? Does that sound nice to you at the minute?
Now it does. It would be refreshing for sure.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's going to be a marketing campaign for various parts of Britain in the future. Catia, good to speak to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
That's Catia Bruno there in Lisbon. It's going to be, I think, 42 degrees in Lisbon. But you know, big city, no aircon. That's tough.
Anything with a 4 in front of it, I'm not up for that, I'm afraid.
I wonder if people, do you think there's going to be a point in 10 years' time where people don't look for hot spots anymore and they start looking for sort of cooler spots in the summer? That becomes the new place where people go on holiday.
Yeah, although
not
people. Yeah, but not people. I don't think in the UK. I think we have that mindset. People who are minded to do that.
Well, that
I don't think they're going to change.
If we get loads of hot summers in a row, do you start thinking, well, maybe I don't want to go to Greece anymore because it's going to be 45 degrees and I can't handle 45 degrees. I want to go to, I don't know, where it becomes tourist. It's like Denmark and Germany and Scotland, and they become like the new hot tourist spots.
Who knows? Who knows?